Good morning and welcome back. I am Miss Pam with Christ United Methodist Church, and I'm glad to welcome you back this Sunday, January 17th for Sunday School. Today we are still on the unit include. That's our faith word, and if you remember from the last couple of weeks, include means to welcome all of God's children in God's love. So our lesson today is going to teach us about how Jesus included those in his worship. So I'm going to start first with our Bible. I'm reading from the Deep Blue Bible, as you can see here. I'm going to turn to Matthew. Matthew is in the New Testament. It's the first book of the Bible in the New Testament. It's one of four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, that talk about Jesus' time here on earth. So today I'm reading from chapter 4, verses 18 through 22, and it teaches us about the calling of the first disciples. I'm not certain if you can see that, but I'm going to start here. As Jesus walked alongside the Galilee Sea, he saw two brothers, Simon, who is called Peter, and Andrew, throwing fishing nets into the sea because they were fishermen. "Come follow me," he said, "and I'll show you how to fish for people." Right away, they left their nets and followed him. Continuing on, he saw another set of brothers, James, the son of Zebedee, and his brother John. They were in a boat with Zebedee, their father, repairing their nets. Jesus called out to them, and immediately they left the boat and their father and followed him. So that was from our Deep Blue Bible. I'm now going to read from our Celebrate Wonder Bible storybook. This just gives us another way to learn the Bible story, and it's written in a different way to help us better understand. So I'm going to show you the pictures. As you can see here, you can see Jesus on the shore and the boat where they have cast their nets to fish. So I'm going to read this to you. "One day Jesus was walking along the sea when he saw two fishermen. The fishermen were the brothers Peter and Andrew. The brothers were out fishing on the water. Jesus called out to Peter and Andrew, 'Come, follow me. I will teach you how to fish for people.' Peter and Andrew left their nets and followed Jesus. Jesus walked further down the shore where he saw two more brothers, James and John, who were mending their nets with their father. Jesus said to the men, 'Come and follow me.' James and John left the boat and their father and followed Jesus." So this was Jesus asking these two sets of brothers to be his disciples, to be fishers of people. So I'm going to share our video, and our Celebrate Wonder kids are going to teach us a little bit more about today's lessons. So let me share my screen. Making sure I have my sound on. Here we go. Calling the disciples. I'm turning my sound on. Wonder how I
Greetings, it's Carly. In our story today, Jesus is walking along the Galilee Sea. As he is walking, he invites two different sets of brothers to join him on his journey. First, he calls for Peter and Andrew, and then James and John. They were all fishermen who were out working when Jesus arrived. All four of them stop what they are doing and join Jesus when he tells them to come and follow him. These are Jesus' first disciples. A disciple is someone who chooses to follow Jesus and his teachings. When Jesus tells them to come follow him, he says, "I will show you how to fish for people." Wait, huh? How do you fish for people? I know you can use worms to catch fish, but how do you fish for people? Maybe you put out pizza, or candy, or toys? I think what Jesus meant was that he'd teach them how to bring people together with his teachings. Jesus taught about love and community, and he wanted to spread that message. One of my favorite things to do is have my friends over at my house. My mom taught me that one way I can show love is by inviting people who don't have a lot of friends to hang out or play. I found that it's really fun, and it makes them feel included. It also helps us make new friends and learn new things about each other. It's important for everyone to know that there are people who care about them. This is my way of bringing people together and following Jesus' teachings. Jesus told the disciples to go out to different places and build communities so that people could come together and hear his teachings about love. All types of people are invited to follow Jesus. We get to help build a community where everyone is included. So, if you want to fish for people, don't use worms. Try showing care and help people feel included. That's what Jesus did, and that's what he invited the disciples to do too. Now, it's time for you to wonder.
So, what a great story to help us understand when Jesus called the disciples. He included them to welcome all of God's children in God's love. And that's what we are asked to do as well. So, here is our wonder mat. I want to show you, I've added a new heart with characters from the Bible. So, remember 2 weeks ago, I added the 3 wise men and the gifts that they brought for Jesus and his mother. Then last week we learned about John the Baptist, and Jesus invited John the Baptist to baptize him. And so today we add to our wonder mat the disciples, and they were fishing. You can see their net, and we were reminded that Jesus invited them to be his first disciples to help him teach more people about God and, of course, Jesus' love for everyone. So I'm going to grab my wonder cube and I'm going to ask you some questions. So I wonder, what is the most important part of the Bible story? So what do you think that is? I think it's when Jesus said, "Come and follow me." And they immediately did. No questions. They dropped their nets. They left their boat. They left their father and they joined him. Okay, one more. What did the Bible story teach you? It taught me, and I'm sure it taught you, that we can all be followers of Jesus and we can all be disciples. We just have to invite other people to join in to follow Jesus. Okay, one last thing. I wonder, what would you change about the Bible story? That's always so hard. This is such a hard question when we get it because it's just a great story. Who are we to change the Bible, right? Maybe I would change it so that more people were there to see Jesus choose his disciples. Or maybe I would be in the fishing boat and be asked by Jesus to be a disciple, to go out and spread the good news about love and all that Jesus taught us. But you know what? We already are. Just like we taught this morning in Sunday school, we are all fishermen of people. God has called all of us to be disciples. And by inviting each other to church, by praying and teaching others about God, just talking about him, or just showing God's love through your actions, we are all disciples for Jesus. So what does it mean to fish for people as the Bible story tells us? It means that we are called upon, just as Jesus called these disciples, to go out and spread the good news, tell others about Jesus and all of his amazing love. Can anyone follow Jesus? What do you think? Yes, anyone can follow Jesus. And how do you follow Jesus? Well, you're doing it right now. You're joining in on Sunday school. You're maybe listening to Pastor Mark preach on Facebook Live or on our YouTube channel. Maybe you're attending a youth group or a children's group. Maybe you're doing activities in addition to this. Maybe you pray with your family. Maybe you're just showing others God's love by being kind to one another. That's a great way to start. So, is there someone you know who follows Jesus? Yes, our family and our friends, our church community, lots of people we surround ourselves with follow Jesus. So, fishing for people might sound silly, but it reminds us that we are all called to follow Jesus. Each of us has a special trait, a special skill, something that makes us uniquely special in a way that we can follow Jesus and share the message with others in all the ways we've talked about. So today in our Zoom call with our kiddos live, we completed this activity that Miss Marcy sent home to all of our kids in their packet. And it's just a fish. It's our fish profile. So you can see it has my name and my age, and it has some things that I enjoy doing. I love to read. I love to go to the lake. I love to take vacation. I think we all miss traveling. And then it has a space for you to write your favorite quote. And instead of my favorite quote, I wrote my favorite Bible verse. And it's Ephesians 4:13, which reads, "I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength." It's one of my favorite Bible verses. We've taught many Sunday school classes around this Bible verse, and definitely have learned about it in Sunday school many times, but it's my favorite. So I hope you will take the time to pull this packet out. The kids and I had so much fun doing it this week and doing it today in Sunday school live. In fact, I have blue hair because I didn't have the right crayon. And so one of the kiddos said, I should just make my hair blue if you can't find a brown crayon. So I did. And those are glasses, although they make me kind of look like a superhero, which that's okay. I don't mind to be a superhero. So I hope you will take the time to finish your fish profile, and maybe you will choose your favorite Bible verse. I'm going to share my screen again because I have a few Bible verses that might be helpful. So I'll put it on the screen for a few minutes. You can pause the video and choose one of the Bible verses yourself. But as you can see on the screen, I've picked a few that might be your favorite. In Psalm 145, verse 9, the Lord is good to all. Numbers chapter 6, verse 24, the Lord blesses you and keeps you. Psalm 145, verse 9, the Lord is good to all. Or there's others, I am with you always. One of our kiddos chose the next one this morning from Ephesians chapter 4, verse 32, be kind to one another. Or 1 John chapter 3, verse 23, love one another. Or when you're afraid, you can always remember Psalm 56, verse 3, what time I am afraid, I will trust in you. Or this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I've heard that so many times. 1 Corinthians, whatever you do, do everything for the glory of God. That's 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31. A few more. I praise you, God, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made, and you are wonderfully made. God chose you to be you just as you are. And that verse helps us remember that. And when we're scared, another verse we can turn to is Isaiah chapter 43, verse 5. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. Or we love because he first loved us. Or when we need guidance, the Lord gives wisdom. And finally, let everything that has breath praise the Lord. So these are just a couple of Bible verses you can choose from to add to your fish profile. You might have another verse that you prefer to include, and that's just fine, but I'm going to stop sharing my screen. But I do hope that you will take some time and choose your fish profile, because remember, we are all fishers of people, of men, and we don't use worms. And even in our video, they talked about pizza and candy. You don't have to do that. No toys. You can be a fisher of men by showing others God's love and teaching others about Jesus through what you say or just how you act. Be kind to one another. So it's been fun, and I've enjoyed spending this time with you. I hope you will join us next week live on Zoom. You can reach out to Miss Marcy or our church office, and they'll get you that link. Otherwise, look for another video here next week. Have a great week. I hope you stay safe and stay healthy. Be kind to one another. Love always. Bye.